Welcome to Hero Villains. Thank you for always following and supporting the channel. What do you think about Shazam versus Gladiator? The universe is home to countless heroes, gods, and champions. But there is one fascinating truth. The mightiest heroes are sometimes children or strangers from distant stars. Today, we will compare two symbols of hope, two warriors who possess the power to level entire planets. On one side is an orphan boy chosen by an ancient wizard, a child who only needs to shout a single name, Shazam, to summon lightning and transform into an adult god empowered by the might of 6 supreme deities from Western mythology. Shazam of DC Comics. On the other side is the most loyal captain of the Shi'ar Empire, a warrior whose power comes from absolute confidence. Whenever he believes he can achieve something, no wall is impossible to break and no enemy is impossible to overcome. Gladiator of Marvel Comics. Shazam wields the magical power of the gods, entrusted to a pure-hearted and courageous child. Gladiator carries physical power that has been forged to protect a great empire stretching across the galaxy. When the lightning of magic collides with the power of confidence, who will be the one left standing? Billy Batson is Shazam, one of the most powerful champions of magic. From an ordinary boy, Billy was chosen by the ancient wizard Mamaragan to become the heir to divine power accumulated across countless ages. Initially, he operated under the name Shazam, but later adopted the title Captain after realizing that speaking the word Shazam would instantly trigger his transformation. Billy's power comes from the living lightning, a supreme form of magical energy that contains the essence of the might possessed by 6 legendary gods and heroes. These powers were passed down through ancient covenants established by Mamaragan. The magical word Shazam is formed from the first letters of Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. Each entity grants Billy a unique aspect of power, ranging from supreme wisdom and unmatched strength to extraordinary stamina, speed, and reflexes far beyond the limits of any human being. When he speaks the magic word, Billy is enveloped by the living lightning and instantly transforms into a perfect adult form. His new body reaches the pinnacle of both physical and mental potential, becoming the embodiment of divine power on Earth. In the past, the transformation only occurred when Billy genuinely intended to activate his power. However, after the events involving Lazarus Planet, the nature of the magic changed significantly. Since then, saying the word Shazam can trigger the transformation regardless of his desire or intention at that moment. With every transformation, he not only receives divine power, but also inherits the experience, willpower, and noble qualities of the entities that contributed to the source of that power. One of Shazam's most important abilities comes from the wisdom of Solomon. Through this blessing, Billy Batson can gain near instant access to an immense reservoir of knowledge accumulated throughout countless ages. In the past, this wisdom was represented through a mysterious entity named Francesca, who frequently appeared to guide and advise Billy. Later, Solomon himself elevated Shazam's intellect to a level far beyond that of an ordinary human, making him one of the wisest individuals on the planet. When in Shazam form, Billy can understand and use almost every language in the world naturally. He has many times communicated fluently in Arabic, Japanese, and many other languages without going through the usual learning process. The power of Hercules grants Shazam nearly unlimited physical resources. He possesses strength on par with the most powerful beings in the DC universe, such as Superman, Wonder Woman, or Black Adam. This ability allows him to perform feats beyond imagination, including stopping the abnormal movement of the moon when this celestial body was affected by a massive space displacement engine. In addition, the stamina of Atlas helps Shazam operate continuously for long periods without showing any signs of exhaustion. His enhanced body can withstand tremendous physical pressure, from prolonged battles to the harshest environments in the universe. This blessing also brings the ability to sustain life, allowing Shazam to exist without food, water, or normal oxygen sources. Shazam's invulnerability is also astonishing. He once endured a full-force punch from an enraged Superman with almost no significant damage. Even in confrontations with Superboy Prime, one of the most powerful beings ever to appear, Shazam can still fight head-on without being completely overwhelmed. A magical protective layer covering his body makes him one of the most durable warriors in the world. Thanks to these divine blessings, Shazam also has the ability to travel among the stars without a spaceship or supporting equipment. He is immune to the vacuum environment, unaffected by lack of gravity, and can move across enormous distances in space. This allows him to reach the most remote regions of the galaxy. The power of Zeus is the source of the most terrifying magical abilities that Shazam possesses. This divine source of power fuels the living lightning, the mystical energy stream that transformed Billy into the champion of magic. Shazam can control this magical electrical energy at will, creating highly destructive energy attacks or using it to perform various spells. In combat, Shazam often uses his own transforming lightning as a tactical weapon, guiding its trajectory to strike targets with astonishing precision. Shazam has repeatedly used magical lightning to heal severe injuries to himself and his allies almost instantly. Shazam also possesses the ability to manipulate reality. He once demonstrated this power by summoning a complete ping-pong table right inside the Justice League headquarters. In a confrontation with Superboy Prime, Shazam showed remarkable flexibility in controlling magical energy. When his opponent used a freezing breath capable of freezing everything in its path, Shazam transformed that energy into fire and immediately redirected the flames back toward the attacker. One of Shazam's most important privileges is access to the Rock of Eternity, the mystical center of the entire multiverse. He can even use his divine lightning to forcibly teleport the wizard Mama Rogan to the Rock of Eternity, demonstrating an impressive level of control over the magical power granted to him. I really hope you will subscribe to the channel. It will help us a lot, and you are the best. Thank you very much. Now let's talk about Gladiator. Gladiator is the supreme praetor of the Imperial Guard of the Shi'ar Empire, one of the most powerful civilizations. He is renowned for his absolute loyalty to the Magister, the rulers who hold the Empire's highest authority. For Calark, honor, duty, and devotion always come before any personal interest. It is this spirit that has made him a symbol of strength and loyalty for all of Shi'ar society. As a Strontian, Calark already possesses abilities far beyond those of ordinary species. However, he also underwent a special enhancement process reserved for Strontian gladiators, allowing his body to reach an entirely different level. This transformation not only increased his physical strength, but also enabled him to survive in the vacuum of space without any form of support equipment. According to Galadorian Space Knight icon, Gladiator is rated Alpha Plus, a classification reserved only for beings with some of the highest levels of power in the galaxy. One of Gladiator's most unique traits is that his strength is directly tied to his confidence. The more absolute his self-belief, the more his power increases to nearly immeasurable levels. This factor has made Gladiator's true limits a mystery for decades. When his spirit reaches its peak state, he can accomplish feats that astonish even the most powerful heroes and entities. In battle, Gladiator has demonstrated his overwhelming strength through a series of incredible achievements. He once ripped the entire Baxter building from its foundation during a fight with the Fantastic Four. His punches carry enough destructive force to destroy an entire planet. Colossus was defeated with ease, while Thing was rendered unable to continue fighting after just 2 punches. When facing Hyperion, Gladiator not only blocked his attack with his palm, but also overpowered him with sheer strength, ultimately knocking him out with a devastating counterstrike. Among Calark's accomplishments, he has also faced Vulcan, an Omega-level mutant who possesses nearly limitless energy. In this battle, Gladiator inflicted severe injuries and knocked his opponent unconscious, a feat that very few characters in the Marvel Universe can accomplish. Records also describe him as strong enough to move massive planets out of their natural orbits and generate forces capable of causing stars to collapse. Gladiator's physical strength is often compared to the Hulk at his peak. Even his son Kubark once claimed to have witnessed his father tear open black holes. Although this statement is legendary in nature, it reflects how those around him perceive Calark's near-limitless power. Gladiator's most impressive feat is stopping an explosion capable of wiping out half the solar system. Notably, he did not merely endure the blast's destructive force, but directly restrained and opposed that energy with his own strength. This achievement demonstrates that Gladiator fully utilized his physical potential and willpower to prevent a catastrophe on an astronomical scale. Calark is also confirmed to possess strength on par with Beta Ray Bill, the legendary warrior who has repeatedly proven himself capable of standing alongside Thor. This places Gladiator among the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. When a warrior can be compared to individuals capable of shaking worlds and even drawing the attention of cosmic entities such as eternity, it shows that Callark is not merely a super soldier. The clearest proof is the moment Callark lifted the entire Baxter Building, the famous headquarters of the Fantastic Four. Given the enormous size and mass of the structure, it should have collapsed under its own weight when lifted off the ground. However, that did not happen. Reed Richards later deduced that Gladiator was using an invisible form of psychic energy to maintain the building's structural integrity, preventing it from being destroyed by its own weight. In terms of speed, Gladiator surpasses all human biological limits. Even the best athletes cannot compare to his mobility. Callark can reach supersonic speeds and frequently exceeds this threshold in combat. In many confrontations, he has taken down members of the Starjammers and Guardians of the Galaxy before they could even become aware of his presence. Human Torch was also once ambushed so suddenly that he had no time to react or deploy any defensive measure. Gladiator's reflexes are even more astonishing than his movement speed. He once caught a bullet fired from an extremely powerful weapon just before it hit Vulcan. In a confrontation with Hyperion, Callark reacted in just a few nanoseconds to block the opponent's attack. He even managed to dodge a photon beam fired at close range by Galactus, a cosmic entity whose power far exceeds most beings in the galaxy. These achievements demonstrate that Gladiator's nervous system and information processing operate at an almost unimaginable speed. He can analyze massive amounts of data in an extremely short time. A typical example is Gladiator being able to count and identify about 10 billion microorganisms active inside a body in just a few seconds. One of the most notable examples is when Callark approached Heimdall and struck before the Asgardian god could react to his arrival. Gladiator is also famous for his near impenetrable durability. His body can withstand large caliber bullets, devastating explosions, impacts from extreme heights, and direct blows from the strongest beings in the universe such as Hulk or Hyperion. This defensive capability makes him one of the most difficult warriors to defeat who has ever existed. Gladiator's survivability also far exceeds the standards of most superheroes. He can exist in the vacuum of space without any form of life support. Extreme cold or extreme heat has little to no effect on his body. Callark has flown through stars without being harmed, and has even survived the destructive force of an event similar to a supernova. In addition, Gladiator's body is nearly immune to disease, bacteria, viruses, toxins, corrosive compounds, and most forms of radiation in the universe. Factors that could easily kill other beings have almost no effect on him. However, the most unique aspect of Gladiator's entire power set is that all aspects of his strength are tied to his confidence. When his self-belief is at its peak, he becomes an almost unstoppable force. Conversely, if his mental state wavers or his confidence diminishes, his durability, strength, and invulnerability also weaken accordingly. It is this combination of willpower and extraordinary power that makes Gladiator one of the most unique and terrifying warriors. Now I will directly compare and analyze combat. The psychological and tactical battle, Shazam, with the wisdom of Solomon, will immediately recognize that something is wrong with the opponent's source of power. He may not know exactly how Gladiator works at the beginning, but after the first exchanges, his divine intelligence will begin to analyze. He will see that the more Gladiator fights fiercely and the more he shouts about his mission and power, the stronger he becomes. Shazam will ask, where does his power come from? Why does it seem to fluctuate with his emotions? This is where the wisdom of Solomon comes into play. It will help Billy connect the data points and form a hypothesis. The opponent's power is tied to his psychology. Conversely, Gladiator will see Shazam as a threat that needs to be eliminated. He will see a powerful being radiating magical energy, but as a general, he will not underestimate his opponent. He will attack with all his strength and discipline. However, Gladiator will not be able to understand Shazam's true nature. He will see an adult god, not a child. This means he will not attempt to target Billy's psychology from the start, missing his opponent's real weakness. Gladiator, with sky-high confidence, will rush in like a bullet. His first punch will carry the power of a mountain. Shazam, with the speed of Mercury, will manage to block it in time, but the force of the blow will push him back hundreds of meters, carving a huge trench into the ground. Haha! Is that all you have, Earthling? Gladiator will roar, his confidence further reinforced. Shazam will shake his head. feeling the pain but not wavering. "I'm just getting warmed up," he will shout, and with the strength of Hercules, he will counterattack. He will fly around behind Gladiator at lightning speed and deliver a devastating punch to his back. This strike will create a thunderous explosion, a shockwave spreading for miles. Gladiator will be blasted to the ground, creating a huge crater, but he will immediately stand up, his white eyes now burning with rage and excitement. "Good! A worthy enemy! This will only make my victory more glorious." His confidence increases again, and he charges into Shazam with even more terrifying strength than before. The two will rush at each other like gods in legend. Each punch, each kick creates deafening explosions. They will punch through mountains, plunge into the ocean, creating tsunamis, and fly up to the upper layers of the atmosphere. This is a battle of power levels that very few beings in the universe can reach. Gladiator will dominate in pure physical strength when his confidence is at its peak, but Shazam will dominate in versatility of abilities. He will not just punch, he will use Mercury's speed to unleash dizzying rapid attacks, making Gladiator unable to react. And then Shazam will decide to change tactics. He remembers Superman's own weakness. He is not of Earth. He may not be familiar with magic. Thinking so, he steps back, raises his arm and shouts, "Shazam!" But this time, he does not transform. He channels magical lightning from the sky to strike Gladiator directly. That is not ordinary lightning. It is the thunder of Zeus, a pure magical attack. The lightning strikes Gladiator in mid-air. He roars in pain. This is not a punch. This is a strange energy source, penetrating his biological defense layer and paralyzing his nerves. For the first time in the battle, a flicker of doubt appears in his mind. What kind of energy is this? Why can it hurt me? The magical attack has succeeded, but more importantly, it has sown doubt. And that is exactly the weapon that Shazam, with the wisdom of Solomon, will immediately recognize. Shazam will no longer try to defeat Gladiator with brute strength. He will defeat his belief. He will continuously use magical attacks, firing lightning bolts from his fingertips, enveloping his fists in magical energy. Each strike that lands will not only deal physical damage, it will also be a psychological attack, whispering into Gladiator's ear. Your strength cannot protect you from this. You are not invincible. In desperation, Gladiator will pour all his remaining strength and confidence into one final attack. He will charge at Shazam at the speed of light, his eyes firing the most powerful heat vision, his fist aimed straight at his opponent's face. But Shazam, with the wisdom of Solomon and the speed of Mercury, has already anticipated this. And Shazam, seeing that his opponent has lost the will to fight, will not deliver a ruthless finishing blow. Instead, he will raise his hand and summon a final magical lightning bolt. Not to kill, but to end the battle in the most humane way. The lightning will strike Gladiator, and this time, with no confidence left to protect him, he will collapse, unconscious. Shazam's victory comes from three key factors. First, magic. Zeus's lightning is a form of energy that Gladiator's confidence-based power cannot effectively resist. It is like a virus infiltrating his perfect defense system. Second, the wisdom of Solomon. This wisdom allowed Billy to recognize Gladiator's fatal psychological weakness, something many stronger opponents had missed. And third, and most importantly, is the true nature of Billy Batson himself. The boy inside Shazam does not have an arrogant belief in his own power. He fights for kindness, for friends, for the innocent, and that is our analysis of the battle between the young god and the Imperial General. A battle in which magic and wisdom triumphed over raw power and absolute confidence. What do you think? Let us know your opinion in the comments below. This is where the most heated debates take place, and we want to hear from you. If you enjoy high-level matchups where we break down every aspect of characters' power and psychology, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future battles. Thank you for watching, and get ready for even more insane showdowns ahead.